Peace, Patrick, ConservativeRap. And in this video, let's get into the economic reality, the shift happening. As you know, Trump is restoring America. He's weaning us off of the income tax gradually. And what's happening is you have people beginning to question why we have it to begin with. If you take into account the deportations, the people self-deporting, that also creates job openings. So let's get into some specifics and yeah, we'll go from there. Here, just first on the geopolitical front, you have the gentleman in Canada, Carney. Prime Minister announces new limits on foreign steel and aluminum with new 25% tariff on steel derivative components. This is him using fancy language to buck to what Trump already proposed. So President Trump hit Canada with 35% tariff and things got ugly. In June, Trump raised the tariff to 50%. The back and forth has gone all year. Kerry now announces new restrictions on imported steel and aluminum, as well as restrictions on imported derivative goods that come from steel and aluminum, in combination with a spending plan to bolster Canadian steel and aluminum manufacturing base. This ends up with shifting the Canada industrial sector to making steel and aluminum products without Chinese import dependency. This is exactly what President Trump told Trudeau and Carney they needed to do in order to get their manufacturing base into alignment with the U.S. plan for industrial manufacturing. But Carney can't tell the Canadians that part. Instead, he just tells them this policy shift will drive up domestic demand. True, but that's not the underlying motive. Carney cannot say trade with the U.S. is different now. As a consequence, if we want to be compliant with Trump demands, we have to limit imported steel from China. We can't survive without the USA, so we are limiting our steel imports from China, and instead of importing the component goods, we're going to train and retool our own manufacturing to be Trump compliant. Yet that's exactly what he's doing. The net, if Canada keeps following this path, is they will become into compliance with a reestablished manufacturing system that will align the U.S. for a bilateral free trade agreement. This is exactly what Mexico has been doing all year instead of fighting with Trump. Next, on X, we have Wall Street Mav. And Wall Street Mav lets us know, just a second. Soon, every Canadian will be paying a bureaucrat's salary on top of a third world migrants who never paid into Canada's welfare state but are now happy to cash out. Now the Liberals are pushing UBI that would swamp Native Canadians with hordes of third worlders who vote for every dollar they can to squeeze out the people who actually built Canada. 1 in 4 Canadians now work for the government. In just 9 years, Canada hired nearly 1 million government workers. That's almost 9 million in U.S. terms. Let's take a quick listen.
Is barreling towards serfdom as a new study finds government workers increased 950,000 since 2015. In U.S. population terms, that's 9 million additional government workers in just 9 years. Meanwhile, a universal basic income threatens to bankrupt the country while turning Canada's open borders into a global free-for-all. Now, 950 brings total government workers in Canada to almost 1 in 4. So in U.S. terms, that's 40 million government workers, slightly fewer than the Soviet Union. So if you are Canadian and not working for the government, congratulations, there are not many of you left. Now, that is a problem because, of course, government workers produce nothing. They are pure parasites on the back of the workers who pay their salary. And it means a Canadian family working 2 jobs will soon be paying the entire salary of a bureaucrat on top of the pensioner they already support, plus hordes of open border migrants who never paid into Canada's welfare state but are very happy to cash out.
Yeah, Canada's going to have to learn the hard way, and it looks like people are waking up to what's occurring. Here's a little bit more of this philosophy, and Wokeness put this out. I don't think it's fair to require 80 hours of work per month for food stamps. This is on the SNAP issue. Let's take a listen.
I don't think it's fair that he do that, but
And you were saying you think it's going to hurt a lot of people?
oh yeah, definitely it's going to hurt a lot of people because you never know. You know what, especially now that we're in the holidays and everybody wants to have a good dinner and everything, and if you don't give it to them, it's going to be really hard.
It's very sudden and it will affect people negatively.
I don't think
Ridiculous. Next, Town Hall put this out. Stellantis CEO says because of POTUS, they're igniting auto investment and moving back into America now. We can see the CAF regulations cafe regulations reconciled. That's why we decided to invest $30 million in Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler in the next 4 years, increase production by 50%, add 5 new cars, and create 5,000 jobs.
Us at Stellantis today, because it's the day where we see cafe regulation reconciled with real customers' demand. That's why at Stellantis we decided to invest to Jeep, Ram, Dodge, and Chrysler $13 billion in the next 4 years, increasing production by 50%, delivering to the market 5 new vehicles, and creating 5,000 additional jobs. That's because we believe in what you, Secretary Tafi, and all your team is doing in this country. We believe in growth, and we are ready to invest even more. So thank you very much. Thank you very much also for this great news of the K-Cars, which we are very interested in. And we are very looking forward to work with Secretary Tafi, your team, in the future for the next steps. Thank you very much.
We'll get ready for those cars because we've already cleared the way. You can start right away.
We will. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you,
President.
thank you very much. Please.
Mr. President, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
We support your leadership for this issue that is so important to the auto industry. I'm here representing the hard-working men and women of Orion Assembly in Michigan.
Hi.
The facility, our manufacturing facility there, is currently going through a retool so that we can build additional U.S. manufactured pickup trucks and full-size sport utilities for our customers, and we're so excited about that. And thank you for your support. Secretary Duffy, thank you as well.
And this is largely coming in because of the tariff situation.
Yeah, excellent. I'll leave it to Trump to always tie in the facts. Next, let's go on to Wall Street Mav again. The data is clearly showing 2.5 million illegals have been deported. Weak job growth, as in those deported, but at the same time, fewer people filing for unemployment. The news media portrays this as bad, but it's actually a huge positive for American citizens. Initial jobless claims just fell to the lowest since September 2022, not screaming distress. So it's fascinating to see. And next, more from the Kobisi letter. Trump accounts tax-free contributions with hundreds of major companies set to contribute. 25+ million U.S. kids will now receive $1,000 from the Trump administration, $250 from Michael Dell, and all free tax contributions made to the account. This will provide trillions of dollars to kids if invested until age 20 plus. Let's take a quick listen.
Able to do tax-free contributions to Trump accounts will also be a great benefit for employers to offer their workers, which they'll be able to do tax-free. It's tax-free. We expect hundreds of major companies to announce plans to contribute to these accounts in the coming months, and we've had tremendous interest in that regard. So the Trump accounts will be available starting on July 4th next year.
New reality that we're walking into, guys, and step by step, the economic world is being built. I'm gonna so you have Canada bucking, you have energy prices coming down, you have jobs being created in America, you have a new investment strategy for the next generation of Americans. And let's head over to MJ Truth Ultra for more of a translation. It's happening. A conversation that was once a pipe dream is now becoming mainstream reality. America thrived before 1913, before the Fed, before the income tax. Now President Trump is in his administration has been seeding the idea into the American mind that we can eliminate the income tax with tariffs, just like McKinley did in 97 of 1800s. President Trump is now following in his footsteps. The dingy Tariff Act of 1897, which was the centerpiece of McKinley's domestic policy, he believed in protectionism, using high tariffs to protect American industries and workers from foreign competition, just like Trump does. Between 1897 and 1901, the United States has become the wealthiest, highest output economy on earth, surpassing the UK and the world's #1 manufacturing nation and #1 economy in total GDP. By 1900, the U.S. industrial production was roughly equal to that of Britain, Germany, and France combined. Taxation without representation is unconstitutional and illegal. We, the people, are now finally coming to grips with the illusions that have been installed around us our entire life. Who is the Fed? What is the Fed? How did the Fed come to fruition? What was the Titanic? Who was on it, and what happened in what year? Those illusions are now dissolving. The golden age of America truly is among us. There's a plan to restore our country, and God's plan is playing out right now.
Tax, we relied on tariffs. Well, I asked President Trump that question actually a couple months ago when these tariffs were being in place. And he used to talk about how we didn't have the income tax. We relied on tariffs in the early days of this country to bring in enormous amounts of wealth. We had so much money, we didn't know what to do with it, that all of a sudden we got rid of that and we implemented an income tax. Now, is it possible? Yes. Does it take a legislative process to get that done? Yes. But here's kind of a side note. I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and I said, well, there probably won't be a single Democrat that would vote for this. And they said, well, you know what, Brian, there probably would be several Republicans that wouldn't vote for this at all. But I say it's a great litmus test for the American people who they need to vote for, who they need to send to Congress and the Senate that goes against maybe abolishing this income tax. But it's certainly a conversation that has come up in wake of this historic tariffs, of the revenue that's pouring into this country. Let's get back to no income tax.
And that would be
Trump
amazing.
Has the right idea.
That would be amazing, Brian.
That would be amazing.
Do the numbers add up, though? Because I was listening to a couple of economists on this who are saying even with the best projections, the numbers don't add up. So I really want to get to the truth on this, and I know you'll do that.
Well, I think what we'd have to do is first in terms of getting rid of the debt. I think that the tariffs are really intended to kind of pay down the debt. So that would have to happen because obviously if we don't cut spending, we don't cut some of the expenses that we have, then quite honestly, to your point, this would not make sense.
Right.
So it would require significant reductions in spending in order to make this happen. But it's certainly a great idea. I mean, my social media lit up in the last couple of days since President Trump said that in that cabinet meeting.
Fascinating. And again, guys, it's a new reality that we're walking into. The simple fact that we're having these conversations, to me, is what's amazing. How many people were talking about the Fed and becoming economically independent as a country prior to Trump? The visibility of this subject matter works against them in principle. It works against the deep state. When you think about inflation coming off a gold standard, and becoming financially independent as a country, it's just simply not what they want. What do you think? Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, and check me out at ConservativeRap.com for more. Thanks, and take care.